If you have a holiday booked with loveholidays.ie, then you may need to listen up, because there's one of their suppliers has gone wallop this week. It's FTI, which is one of the largest tour operators in Europe, and they went wallop, which has led to some complication, shall we say, for people who had holidays booked on loveholidays.ie, including some people going out of Cork. And it all seems to have happened quite suddenly. Now, Love Holidays have issued a statement, which I'll read in a while, but Eoghan Corry, travel journalist, joins me. I'm hearing in the last couple of days, Eoghan, of people, the old nightmare, arriving at the hotel that was booked as part of your package and you can't stay. Morning.
Good morning, PJ. It doesn't seem to be happening to many Irish customers, but we do know that two of the suppliers that Love Holidays deal with, utravel.com and Meeting Point, they are affected by the FTI bankruptcy. There could be more. FTI are third biggest operator operating out of Germany, so there's a fairly big impact in some of the Canary Islands and Cyprus, mainly for people travelling directly from Germany. But the way travel works nowadays is it's quite complicated, and there could be 2 or 3 different middlemen between your money and it landing with the hotelier. We're only talking about the hotelier here. That's in right. The case of Ireland. Ireland's not affected. That means that we could have situations where leaving certificates will arrive and be told they have to pay again for their hotel. It's not clear how many Irish people will be affected. In fact, it does look like we're going to be very, very few, if any. But the nature of it is that so many of the individual bookings are tied up with different companies that if there's any stage where they're involved with 2 suppliers, utravel.com and Meeting Point, it could lead to problems.
Yeah, Love Holidays is very popular and a lot of people book with it. I was only chatting last week, in fact, with the gaffer there, Clem Walsh, about how exciting a summer they were looking to have. They operate by, you entrust them to put the holiday together for you, tell you where you want to go, and they do the whole lot. FTI is just one of their suppliers.
That's right. They've dozens, if not hundreds, of suppliers. Now, they are a little bit more complicated in that they are not a traditional travel agency in any sense. They also have a huge marketing budget, which they spend on Google. If you Google almost anything, including the name of a Cork travel agent, and you want to go to Mallorca, the first landing on the page will be Love Holiday, because they pay Google to land top of the page. So a lot of people, they just would go with the very top of the page booking. And that means we are going to be looking at quite a number of bookings out of Ireland this year, 50 or 60,000 of them going through Love Holidays. It's complex after that, because the traditional travel model was you booked with a company, they operated the aircraft, they brought you by bus to the resort and they put you in a hotel. And there could be different transfer companies, different hoteliers and handling agencies that deal with the hotels. So where the money, it's a case of follow the money, so old-fashioned follow the money, PJ. If the money gets stopped by one of the companies associated with FTI on the way, the hotelier doesn't get it. And hoteliers, when they don't get paid, just tell the guest that's arriving, you've got 2 choices. Go away with your bag or pay me now, because I haven't got the money. I don't care if you've already paid for this to somebody who's weighed off with your money. It also makes it quite difficult under consumer law, because the traditional licensed bonded agency is really built on the old model where one company brought you there. And when there's intermediaries, very often the licensing agreement isn't updated enough to cope with that. Care for that, then you're left with the expensive option of changing of chasing the money through small court claims and things. So then sometimes the person who hasn't paid you is in Germany, and the other, if the money hasn't come off your credit card, you're left with the option of the charge.
It's all complicated. One of the places affected, for example, is in Lanzarote. It's the El Dorado. Now, I've happened to stay at the El Dorado 1 or 2 times, and I know it's very popular with the Irish, so you'd be watching that one, for example.
but don't worry. The Eldorado may have got your money through another supplier, and I suspect in the case of Love Holidays in Ireland, it has gone through another supplier. Again, I don't want to give anyone false assurance.
Okay.
But I also don't want to be raising alarm because what I've been hearing back is a lot of anxiety, but no problem so far.
I'll read the statement they sent us in a little while. Just want to touch base with you, Eoghan, on possibility of a pilot strike at Aer Lingus. Now, it's being presented in some of the newspapers as pilots looking for enormous money, like an increase of 49 grand a year, and you're looking at, what the hell? Is there a danger of a strike here, or will this, like many industrial relations things, will it blow itself over and sort itself out?
Yeah, most industrial relations issues don't reach this stage. It goes to the LRC, the World Labour Court, and first the WRC, then the Labour Court, and it comes back with a recommendation, which usually is enough to displease both sides, but both sides accept it. What's unusual is the pilots are very strong. They see themselves in a position not to take the Labour Court recommendation, to go back to Aer Lingus and poke them a bit more. Bit of choreography and sabre rattling. What'll happen is they'll declare it, they'll ballot for a strike, they'll vote for it by an enormous majority. They will then give Aer Lingus a strike date. Then we'll probably go back into talks, we'll probably go back into the WRC, and with about a day to go, the strike will be called off. I do not expect a strike to go ahead, but I do think that they're going to use the opportunity to remind Aer Lingus, you need us to fly the aircraft.
You know, it's an industrial relations script that you and I have both seen played out so many times. Eoghan Corry, thank you very much, travel journalist, editor of the Air and Travel magazine. Eoghan Corry, Love Holidays gave us a statement early this morning. They said the FTI Group is the parent company of one of our suppliers, U-Travel. U-Travel is an accommodation and transfer supplier for many travel agencies. Here's the important one. Only a very small proportion of Love Holidays customers are affected by this news. We're working closely with our wider network of suppliers to honour all existing bookings and minimise any disruption. This is the equivalent of less than 3% of all bookings from Ireland. We've contacted all affected customers and to let them know about the situation. We have set up FAQs on our website. I couldn't see them this morning, but perhaps they're there. And Love Holidays have said that a very, very small proportion of people affected, and they will sort it all out.